Hi, Michael. For this next item, we are going to cover tables here. Now, it is possible for you to make tables in Excel or Word and insert them into the page editor, and it will accept those. They won't show up typically with a header like this and alternately shaded lines, but there may be instances where you want to use that, and that is just fine. But we do have a plugin that we've added to the site here that will set up this formatting for you. And so to do that, you come right down here to Table Press. You can see these existing tables that we've got on the site. These first two are not currently being used on the site. We had set those up based on the mock-up, but then we didn't end up having the SAT registration test dates and ACT registration test dates show on the site. So I don't know, you could reuse these if you wanted. If you want to edit any of these, of course, as with the other things, you can just click on one for it to show up for you. And you can see here there's columns and rows going on here for these things, and there's different choices to be made. Now, if you had clicked add a new table rather than clicking into one like I've already done here, it would ask you how many rows and how many columns you want, and we'll go back and show that as well. But obviously, if we're editing one that's already been done, those questions have already been answered. So, the rows and columns are already set. You can always add more by clicking, add one row, add one column, and it will add those for you, and then you can manipulate it and edit it that way. But yeah, then you can just enter whatever the content is into each one of these fields. So this is a little bit different since you're editing the table separately from where it appears on the page. But once you make those changes and hit Save Changes, it will then update anywhere the table appears. So that is one nice thing, that if you've got a table that you might want to use in more than one place, you only have to edit it one time, and it will edit it anywhere that you have that table. So I'm going to hit refresh here because obviously I don't want to add these extra rows. It's going to warn me that I'm not saving my changes. I'm going to say yes. But those are the basics of that. If we come back here and we instead say add a new table, then you can see here it asks me to give a name, description if you want, and then the number of rows and the number of columns for that table. I will say too that when you make these, what you're going to want to do is, I think it's going to default to checking off a bunch of these options. We have the styling set up for what you see right here. Only this first row of the table is the header checked, and then this enable visitor features, you want to disable this. It's gonna mess things up if you don't disable this down here. So then, in order to insert that table into here, into the page that you want, you just say show shortcode. You do need to make an adjustment to this so that on mobile it will scroll correctly. So you can see here, this needs to be added to the end of the shortcode in order to get that to work. And so what I'm referencing here is the fact that, let's go here and let's make this show at a mobile width. And if we scroll down to say here, well, let's find a better one. This one down at the bottom, here we go, is scrollable so that they can see the whole table when it's wider than a mobile device. So yeah, this is basically the shortcode that you're going to use, and you just insert the ID right here into that from whatever it is. This is 1, you can see this is number 2, and so on. It's just going to keep adding numbers as you go. So I will include that shortcode in the email that I send over for this one, but yeah, it will be here in the video as well. I think that is it for the table press review. Thanks so much.